Hello, Ranger Nation. This is Josh Mason-Heimer sitting alongside James Fortner. James, how are you?
Very well, my friend.
Good.
How are you?
Man, pretty good. It'll be good to have a new partner, right, tonight. Todd is either watching volleyball or we spent 9 hours together in a truck Friday and Saturday morning. So probably be good to get away from each other for a little while.
Well, he's going to have some road time for sure.
That's right. James, we've got a good show this evening. But first of all, a couple of announcements. Volleyball in the Denver City tournament Friday. They won the gold bracket, so congratulations to the volleyball team.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. And then tonight they have a doubleheader against Wink and Big Spring. I believe they're playing at Big Spring tonight. So
out on the road in Big Spring. Hopefully not caught up in the flash floods running around from the past overnight.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we got some rain, so that's the good news. But
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, Todd is actually broadcasting in Big Spring the volleyball games tonight. So I appreciate you sitting in for us.
Oh, happy to do it, man. Happy to do it.
What do we have for us tonight?
Hey, this evening's show, we've got boys cross country with Coach Robinson and Landon Stewart. We've got girls cross country with Coach White and Sydney Click. We've got football with Coach Martin and Landon Butts, and then we'll wrap up with head football coach Brian Hill.
Okay. Well, so we talked about the flash flood warnings, right?
That's right.
Had a little bit of rain, so we're going to ignore those flash flood warnings and for Midland County because it is Ranger Rundown time. And welcome back. Tonight we have at the table Scott Robinson and Landon Stewart. Coach Robinson, you're the boys cross-country coach, right?
Yes, sir.
Varsity cross-country coach.
Correct.
And then one of your runners, Landon Stewart, he's not shy in front of the camera. He's been with us quite a bit in the past. So, James, I'll let you hit the first question.
Yeah, Coach Robinson, hey, tell us about the team this season and how things are going.
Going great. You know, the boys working real hard. Our numbers are swollen up a little bit. So we're pretty excited. We just got through running over Brownwood the other day. The guys finished sixth out of, I think it's 26, 27 teams. Really shaping up, looking awesome. So I'm pretty excited.
Good. Coach, what are the expectations for this year?
Definitely, you know, last year we finally got to regionals, got the boys there, got the girls there as well. And we want to build on that. We definitely want to repeat that. But big goal right now is try to run down Andrews, take that district title. Again, get back to regionals, and then really push our way into state. We'd like to get a group over there. So just got to keep our eye on the prize, keep working at it, because we're pretty close to what we really want to do.
Sounds like lots of running.
Lots of running, definitely.
Coach, what are you most excited about and why?
I just really like how hard they're pushing each other. I mean, really, they get me excited watching them. You know, they're pushing hard. We've got Jack Ledford came in. You know, a little freshman, he gets it. And these guys, well, they work hard to make sure that they're right there with him. You know, so I love watching that push, just to not let him have it. But it pushes the whole team. It's really great to watch.
Coach, what can you tell us about how you prepare runners for each week?
Do
you do the same thing, maybe something different?
Try to vary
depending on the course.
Try to vary it a little bit. Try to keep them interested in it. You know, keep doing the same thing every day, and they're going to get tired of it.
Interested in running.
Yeah, that's a tough job, man. That is a tough job.
That is tough. That is tough. But I don't know. We try to vary it, kind of do some goofy things here and there, but definitely make sure we get those miles.
Yep. Maybe put money at the end of the course.
That does work, you know. That does work.
Could be a motivator.
We can get Fortner to bring us a little cash over.
Hey, there you go. We can make that happen.
A little NIL sponsorship. All right, Coach, a couple of rapid-fire questions for you. What is your favorite color?
Probably blue.
Blue? That's a good question in the current state of uniform. Pizza or Chinese?
Pizza, definitely.
Pizza, definitely?
I don't know. I like my Chinese, too, but pizza.
More to the pizza side? That's all right. Finish the sentence, I'm afraid of.
My wife.
It's a fantastic answer if it wasn't broadcast live.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to edit that one out. So, all right, Landon, moving on to you again. Thanks for coming in. I think you've probably been on the show as much as I have, but you know, it's good to always have you, and all the accomplishments that you have. So.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
What are you most excited about for this year?
I'm just excited about the way we're looking this year with Jack and Ashton and me, and then you have Angel, and then we have Chris and Ethan, basically the varsity team, and the way we're looking this year is super strong compared to past years.
Awesome, man. Hey, being your senior year, what feels different about this year versus previous years?
It's just a year of last, I guess. Like it's one last time to go to this race or to have like go on this like trip basically. It's just
Does that motivate you differently?
A little bit, like it's a bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, kind of at the beginning of the season, this may be a little tough of a question, but what are your most memorable moments so far?
So far, I'd have to say my sophomore year when we went to regionals. That trip was a lot of fun. And then, again, my sophomore year, probably Lampasas was another fun one. And then last year we went to, I believe it was Lubbock, and we spent the night. That was a fun trip.
Is that because the course in particular, or what you did while you were out of town, or how you performed?
A lot of those ones are like overnight trips, or those ones in Lubbock a lot of the times are whenever we qualified at district to go to regional, so it's kind of that accomplishment and getting to spend the night, and like there's just a lot of memorable moments.
Gotcha. And what would you like to accomplish this year?
This year I would like to move on to regionals individually and especially as a team, and then hopefully we can get a team to state. It's the big goal.
Okay. Man, that's a great thing to accomplish. All right, a couple rapid fire questions for you, Landon. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's your favorite food?
Chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried steak. That's a great West Texas answer right there, baby. All right, beach or lake?
Lake.
I like the lake too. Not much of a beach guy. Not one close around anyway. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. See, there y'all go. Let's more with the blue. All right, same sentences Coach finished. I'm afraid of.
My mom.
Wow. You guys
I'm afraid
are
of her too. You know,
yeah. You guys like trouble together. All right. It's a good thing you guys are good at running. All right.
Oh, yeah, run away from what you're afraid of. That's right. There you go.
All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the girls cross country and Coach White and Sydney Click.
And welcome back. Now we're sitting with Coach Sadie White and Sydney Click to talk about girls cross country.
Thank y'all for coming in. Coach White, how about a recap of the girls' most recent events?
So they ran in Brownwood last Wednesday.
Go ahead.
There we go. All right. Oh, no.
All right, start again. Sorry, Coach.
They
Give us
ran
a
in
recap.
Brownwood last Wednesday, and almost all of them did personal best, which was pretty cool. And then the meet before that, they ran in the Midland Tall City, and our varsity team got second out of Midland Legacy, Odessa, big 6A schools. So, yeah.
Coach, how's the group tend to be progressing as a whole so far this year?
Yeah, they're doing great. All of my varsity girls for sure have improved their times tremendously. So it's really cool to see that each week.
Awesome. What do you see from your runner? What do you want to see from your runners at the next meet, Coach?
So they're running the Lubbock May Simmons course, which is the regional race. So I'm just excited to see how they'll tackle that.
That's a
hill.
tough course, isn't it?
Yes, that first hill is pretty big. So I'm excited to see how they'll do it now and then hopefully see it again in regionals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking across the district, how do our girls stack up against the competition?
Yeah, so the last meet that Seminole and Andrews were in, their top 2 runners ran a little over 13 minutes, and then our top 2 runners ran under 13 minutes this last race. So I think they're hopefully improving and continuing to drop their times down.
Sounds good to me. I don't want to run 13 minutes.
Not even close. I don't run for 3 minutes, so 13 is like pushing it beyond. Yeah, there will be EMS involved if I have to run for 13 minutes. All right, Coach, a couple rapid-fire questions for you. What's your favorite color?
Pink.
Pink. Pink is a good color. Chinese or Italian?
Italian.
Oh, I love Italian. Family's part Italian. There you go.
There you go.
Spicy or mild?
Mild, very mild. I'm a baby.
Me too. All right, finish the sentence. I'm afraid of.
I don't know if I want to finish that sentence because I am in the coach's office and I don't want them to
It is live, so.
put something
Wow.
in my desk or scare me, which I'm pretty sure Coach Hill would do.
Okay. Well,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
don't want to give that away. All right. There are a couple of gentlemen in the back that are scared of snakes and spiders
Okay.
from previous
okay.
episodes. So,
And one sitting behind the table.
all right, Sydney, you're up. First of all, thanks for coming in tonight. What are you most excited for this year?
I'm just excited to have such a great team, truly. I think over these past few years, we've had some amazing girls come and go, but this team is like truly stuck together just above and beyond. And I think that's my favorite part and something I'm most excited for to have because I think after high school, I think all my relationships with these people are going to stay.
Okay.
Awesome. Sydney, what are your times and where do you want your time to be by the time district comes around?
I'm still coming off of summer, but so 14s, but by the time district comes around, I want to be low 14 and I want to try and hit 15. I have a good group of girls in front of me that have been pushing me this year, and I would really like to catch up with them and run.
Okay. What would you like to accomplish this year? Is that moving on past district, regionals?
Oh yeah, for sure. We made it to regionals last year and we did good, but I think this year we could do so much better than we did last year because all of us have picked up where we left off last year instead of having to restart all over. So I think we're enhancing not only our bonds, but just how we're coming across as a team. And I think this year we're gonna do really good.
Okay. So nobody took the summer off and started from scratch?
No, not at all. We did really good over the summer, actually.
That's got to be a rough summer. Finally for me, what's your most favorite thing about Coach White?
How she always pushes us, and there's never been a practice where I've walked home that I've never gone home hurting. That sounds like it really stinks, but I always know that she's making me a better person and a better athlete.
Okay. Good answer. Man, I like that. That's a great answer.
That's a great answer. All right, you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Oh gosh.
They're super tough.
Super tough.
Oh,
Super
no.
tough. Yeah. Favorite food?
Oh Lord. Ramen.
Ramen.
Like ramen noodles?
Ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Like instant noodles.
Yeah.
Instant noodles. Okay.
That's like false Italian or something,
that's
man.
a-
I don't
that's
know.
a
No
new-
Italian.
It's just cardboard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Cardboard.
James was heard on that.
That's
answer.
heresy, man. Oh. All right. What's your favorite subject in school?
I like science.
Science. I like that. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Reading?
Green.
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 Sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing. I'm half deaf and I got headphones on, so green. Fantastic. I'm on board now. And what are you afraid of other than a deaf guy sitting next to you?
Probably centipedes. I don't like centipedes.
Centipedes?
Yeah.
I think that's a good answer.
But millipedes are okay. Okay.
Anything of that sort is not okay.
Gotcha.
I don't think they're okay.
That's awesome. Well, Coach White, Sydney, thank you both for coming in and talking with us today and filling us in on how the cross-country season's going. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
That's it. Next up on the Ranger Rundown, we've got defensive coordinator Markel Martin and then senior Landon Butts joining us at the table. Stick with us. And up next at the table to our left, we've got defensive coordinator Markel Martin, senior linebacker Landon Butts. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on the heels of a great game Friday night. Coach, we'll start with you. How about maybe a quick recap of how the defense performed Friday against Childress?
We started out pretty fast, physical. The biggest thing for us is we wanted to change the narrative of things that happened to us last year. We wanted to compete, to set that bar pretty high, and so that's been our motto this year. And so we're going to echo what Coach Hill has put in front of us. So we're going to compete, and I think our guys, they showed that they're willing to do that.
Okay.
Coach, what do you see the biggest difference in this year's group versus last year's group thus far?
They care about each other. You know, they spend a great amount of time with one another. They're studying. They're asking questions. They're ready for, you know, the depth of our defense and calls. And so it makes our job easy when we can just sit back and let these guys make the calls and just execute.
Coach, is there anything that really stood out from Friday night?
Honestly, just the ability to be physical. I think our guys in the past, it's been more spread, and so it takes us a while to get used to it, but we started out just on fire, and the consistency and the discipline, they didn't get bored with doing the same thing over and over, and so those are things that stood out to me.
You know, Coach, I saw hunger when they put the backup running back in. I think he was the third-string running back. First ball carry, fumbles, right, and then we wound up scoring right at the beginning of the second quarter. So, you know, I just saw kind of a hunger that might have been missing a little bit last year.
Yes, sir. We preach those turnovers every single day. We want to be +2 in that category for us. That's something that a goal we set, and we met it, and we wanted to block a kick. We did that as well. So those goals have been set not only just by our staff, but our players. They came up with it.
Yep.
Coach, what area are you guys focusing on this week?
Stop and run. I think that Butts he can testify to this as well. Last year we gave up way too many rushing yards, and so before we do anything, we got to stop the run.
Okay. What message do you have for your – oh, sorry, you just asked that question, didn't you?
No, you're good, brother.
Lana, I'm going to go on to you. How do you feel strapping that helmet on Friday night, starting off your senior year?
You know, it was a great feeling to, like, start my last season of football with the Rangers. I kind of just tried to take everything in, like play everything slow, you know, don't rush anything because, you know, this is my last year of football that I have. So I'm trying to enjoy every moment that I can. You know, normally, like, whether it's the bus rides, whether it's practice, whatever, I try to just push through, kind of, you know, just get through it. But this year I've kind of taken a different perspective on it, and I've tried to, you know, enjoy all the small things because I'll never get this back. And, you know, I've dedicated a lot of time and effort to football, so I'm trying to do what I can to help our team succeed this season.
Yeah, and I guess a follow-up question to that, are we wanting to play past high school? You know, is that something that you desire?
That's undecided.
Okay.
I kind of want to see how I feel after the season. You know, after, you know, if I'm happy with, you know, maybe I'm ready to leave football alone after the season. But if I'm still wanting to get out there and go another 4 years of playing football, then, you know, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Just gonna have to play it by hand.
Awesome. How do you think you performed on Friday night?
From an individual perspective, I think I tried to, you know, do my best every play, obviously, and, you know, the scoreboard showed that. So I was really happy with the outcome. But from a team perspective, you know, I think we all were firing on all cylinders. You know, we did have some mess ups here and there, but I feel like overall, from the defense, we took care of business.
Landon, what's the biggest change for you from last year?
Honestly, just team maturity. I feel like as a group, we've all, like, we realize what it takes to win now, and we realize that everyone has to show up, everyone has to do their job for us to have a chance to compete. And, you know, play in and play out, we can't take any plays off, because if you have 10 guys doing their job, but you have one guy that takes a play off, you know, he lets the whole team down. So I feel like we're all kind of on the same page this year as far as that goes, and I feel like that's super important to us because, you know, last season I feel like we were all over the place a little bit. So I feel like we've definitely cleaned that up a little bit this season, and I feel like just team maturity, that's the biggest change from last season.
Okay, like it.
How do you prepare yourself for game time?
I'm a big music guy, so I always, I'll put my AirPods in and I'll start stretching a little bit. We always go out and walk the field before our games. So, I like to say a prayer too, to kind of get ready, get my mind right. And then what we started doing this year, we started having like defensive meetings. Like we'll get the starting 11 and we'll go, away from everybody else, and we'll kind of just talk about, what we need to do. We'll set goals for our team. Like, we want an interception, we want a sack, we want all this stuff, So I feel like setting those goals and, just giving ourselves something to work towards, it makes us work a little harder, and it makes us, go out there and just pedal to the metal.
Martin's over here saying, we want 3 turnovers and 3. But
always got to be +2. +2 in the turnovers.
That's right. All right. Coach Martin, we did rapid fire last week with you,
Yes,
so Landon, here we go. Rapid fire, favorite food?
Raising Cane's chicken fingers.
Okay.
They only serve
Fast
chicken
food.
fingers.
Fast food is the favorite. Okay.
So good.
It's good. Sauce or no sauce?
Sauce.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
Sometimes I'll get a cup of the sauce.
Which game this year are you looking forward to the most?
Monahans.
Monahans. And I've got to ask why.
Well, I feel like Greenwood and Monahans have always had like that rivalry.
Okay.
And, I've been on varsity since my sophomore year, but I didn't get to play them because of our district realignment. So seeing them on our schedule this year, I'm ready to get to that game, and I'm ready to I think us and Monahans are both ready to play each other,
Lit the fire back, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Favorite subject in school?
Oh. History.
You got to learn from the past, Landon.
Yeah.
And finally, which coach are you most scared of?
Lyles.
Wow, that was quick.
That was a fast answer.
I know. I figured you'd think about that
No.
one. Okay. All yours, Jay.
All right, stay with us. Coach Hill's up next. Talk Childress and the upcoming game against Sweetwater.
And welcome back. Wrapping up tonight's program, we have head football coach Brian Hill. Coach, how are you?
Great. It's good coming off a win.
Right? We got the win Friday. We got to practice in the rain.
Absolutely. Twice.
Right, yeah.
Practiced in the rain twice.
Rain is good.
Better than 110.
That's
we'll
right.
take it.
That's about 10 seasons worth of practice of the rain out here that you're going to get 2 days in a row. It doesn't
We'll
happen
take
that
it.
often.
Absolutely. Glad to have it for sure.
But man, those poor middle schoolers out there this morning, it was like 63 degrees, raining, and I thought, we'll see what he didn't whine about it today. So
Bill's character.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Exactly. A lot of
Worst part is stretching in the rain. I always hated that when I was in junior high.
Yeah, before
First
you
come out, you got to sit down in it. It was like, man, I'd rather you tackle me in this or something. Make me sit in it.
before you
horrible.
get warm, you have to stretch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So just freeze for a little while. Coach, we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. Instead of doing normal highlights from the previous week, we're going to drop that down to top 10.
All right.
So we're
let's
gonna play the top 10 and go from there.
Thank you, Coach Thomas and his class for putting this together.
That's it.
Look at the graphic. Graphic looks good. Graphic may be number one. Looks sharp. But it was a great trip to Childress. I thought our kids traveled well. You always kind of have that question, in your mind when it's a 3-4 hour trip, how are you going to handle it? And, right off the bat, I think we started a little sluggish, but right there at number 10, you can see Lincoln Madrid extending to play with his feet, finding a way to get a first down. And, that's something he did later in the season last year, and so it was good to see him kind of pick up on where he left off there. And here's a nice screen pass right there to Nathaniel Romero, who ended up the night had 4 touchdowns and behind a great stock block there by Dylan Payton. He did a great job on the perimeter, without the ball in his hands as well as he did with it. And then defensively, I thought we played pretty well. We kind of got off to a slow start, but the screen pass has kind of been our Achilles heel for the last year. And Childress, they tried it a few times, and Coach Martin had a good game plan. Linebackers hustling to the ball there. That was Jaden Martin bringing the ball down. And, again, here's another defensive stop. I think defensively we're going to go as far as our defensive line takes us. And right there we're able to create a turnover, and the offense was able to punch it in shortly thereafter. And anytime you can create some points, get some points off of other teams' miscues, it's going to be a good night.
Speaking of miscues.
That was one of Nathaniel's 4 right there, and I give Coach Hernandez a lot of credit. He had that dialed up. He knew he wanted to go back to it, and Nathaniel was wide open there, and then Cade Rowalt was wide open on the other side if you saw that on the left side. But, again, I just so proud of our defense and how we've progressed over the last 12 months. We just talked to Landon Butts, but his leadership has been phenomenal, especially with that front 7 stopping the run. He's done a great job for us this year. And then this is one of Dylan's several acrobatic catches on Friday night. But anytime you get the ball inside the 5, you expect to score, and our offense was able to get it down there and find a way to punch it in. So it was good, especially from starting from a 6-point deficit early in the game. And that right there was Luke Fales. We asked him to change positions kind of later in two-a-days, and he was glad to do it, and he was a force to be reckoned with from that defensive tackle position. He did a great job. And then this is one of the best plays I've ever seen in person.
Yep.
That was concentration.
Absolutely, yeah. To tip it up over the defender's head, back to himself, come down with it. It's just a credit to Dylan, his athleticism, and what he was able to do with the ball in the air. And then, obviously, offensively, your goal is to establish the run game and establish it early. And so anytime you can break out, we call it an explosive play, anything on the ground more than 15 yards. And, behind some great blocking there, Nathaniel was able to break a couple of tackles and make the Bobcats pay for it. So that was it was a good night for the Rangers, and we were excited to get that first win under our belt early. We had to work for it a little bit last year, so it was nice to get it done in August this time around.
Yep. Yeah, I love that we got the screenplay in the top 10.
Yeah,
I'm digging that one. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Coach, how about a brief recap of the Childress game?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of question marks going into the game. One, how do we travel in any football game? Doesn't matter. You're going to face some adversity. How are we going to face adversity? And what kind of improvement are we going to make from the end of last season to this season? And we traveled well. We handled that with a lot of maturity. We got down early. I don't think we played our best football the first half of the first quarter. And so, that adversity struck pretty early. We're down 6-0, and we allowed them to score on their first possession, and we didn't answer with our first possession. And so we had that adversity. And then offense got going, defense got a 3-and-out, and we just started clicking. And I think we proved ourselves that when we play with confidence and we execute at a high level, like, we're the only ones that can stop ourselves. And
yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. I was happy for our kids, and they put in a lot of work through the spring into the summer during two-a-days, and so for them to see the fruits of their labor, I think it really validated a lot of what our staff has been preaching, and so I was excited for our kids to have that success.
Coach, whose performance stood out this past week?
Well, I mean, obviously Nathaniel Romero scored 4 touchdowns. Lincoln threw the ball well. Dylan had some pretty acrobatic catches, and then defensively we had a lot of negative plays, chaotic plays where we're creating turnovers or forcing negative plays. But I think a couple of maybe the unsung heroes were our 2 sophomores. Lane Wilhelm started at defensive end as a sophomore and just did a fantastic job. He was a relentless pass rusher, hustled to the ball all night, did a great job. Reese Watzel, we've put a ton on him. He plays quarterback, he plays tight end, he plays running back, he plays will linebacker. He's on 3 special teams. I mean, we've asked him to do an incredible amount for somebody who was playing their first varsity football game. He did a great job. And then I think Peyton Rahman is another one. He didn't really have the catches that we've seen from tight ends in some of the games we played last year, but a great job getting lined up, calling out fronts, getting guys blocked, ran some routes to open up some other receivers, and just couldn't be more proud of his selflessness and the way he handled himself at that tight end spot on Friday night. Did a great job for us.
Yep. Coach, what are some areas that you've identified that maybe need a little more improvement?
Well, I think as we go through the year and we play some good teams, we've got a good team coming to town on Friday night. You can't start slow. You can't put yourself in a hole week in and week out. And so we've got to find a way to. If they start with the ball, we've got to get a stop. And when we have our first possession, we've got to find a way to get the ball into the end zone. So I think that's the first thing. We didn't start real fast to start the third quarter either.
Yep.
So we've got to be able to go from 0 to 60 a lot faster. We can't play 7 or 8 minutes of football before we start rolling. And then, defensively, the first game of the season, you're almost go into it blind. We saw some scrimmage tape, but nobody puts their whole offense or whole defense out in a scrimmage, us included. And so you may have a general idea of what they're going to do or how they might attack you, but to be frank, you're guessing a lot. And so, our game plan was rough at best. And I think we had defensively some communication errors that will get cleaned up. And, if we see them again on Friday, we'll be ready for them. And I think if we can just eliminate those communication errors, guys like Nathan Tarango, Ty Box, Kason Brooks, Noah Rivas played a fantastic game at safety. Maddox De La Pena, I think all those guys will continue to improve and eliminate some of those miscues we had in the secondary.
You bring up kind of the slow start, first offensive and defensive series, right? But I think the key is you guys made whatever adjustments you needed to.
Yeah.
And then the game just went quite a bit smoother on both sides of the ball. Like you talked about the first series, might have been just a little bit slow, but then start putting points on the board, wind up getting that blocked punt. And Todd and I called it that we were thinking, well, if that deep snapper goes high, what are the odds he rolls one back? And sure enough, he rolled the rest of them back the rest of the night. But I think you mentioned the adversity, just trying to overcome that. Hey guys, let's have a short memory and look forward to the next series. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
Absolutely. I was really, really pleased with our coaching staff too. A lot of the adjustments were made on the sideline on a whiteboard, and then we were able to kind of get in more in depth at the halftime intermission. But our coaching staff, both offense and defense, and Coach Galindo with his special teams, made some great adjustments on the fly and really got us going on all three sides of the ball.
Sure.
Yeah. Coach, thinking back on the game, is there a single play that maybe stands out that set the tone for your team, or maybe even changed the tone of the game as you maybe had a slow start? Is there something in there a play that took off on you?
One, we were down 6-0 and then went on a 28-point unanswered run. So I think that first touchdown, where we all could kind of take a breath and release some of that anxiety maybe that was built up a little bit about if we can, are we going to be able to get in the end zone? So that was big. But one play stuck out to me in my mind was. Had a little end around to Cade Rowalt, and Cade did a great job making some people miss and took it down our sideline, and Dylan Payton without the ball in his hand. We all know how good he is with the ball in his hand, but stayed on his stock block for 5 or 6 seconds, and
sure.
that's challenging in and of itself. So he did a fantastic job blocking down the field, and I think it was just kind of a microcosm of how unselfish this team is. We're gonna. When the spotlight's on us, we're obviously going to, perform our best. But when it's on somebody else, we're still going to be in a supporting role. And so I give a lot of credit to our whole offensive line and the whole offensive unit, really. Anytime you can put 42 points up, it's a good night.
That is a good night.
We'll do it.
I'll take that almost every night.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You need to win those games.
That's right.
Coach, what do you think about the great fans that traveled, that made that 4-hour trip to Childress and then again back home?
Oh, my God. It didn't feel like a road game. You turn around, and, the place was packed on our side, and it wasn't lost on me or our staff or our players that it was, a 4-hour trip, and it was going to be a 2 a.m., getting home type of night. And so incredibly appreciative, incredibly thankful, frankly not surprised at all. That's just the kind of fans we have, and so appreciative of our band, our cheerleaders, our parents. It was just it was a great night.
Coach, how was the atmosphere in the locker room for the first game?
Before the game, incredibly focused. I think everybody understood that have a job to do. Everybody's role may be a little bit different, but everybody's goal is the same. And then, we gave up a score before half, and I think it upset our players as much or more than it did our coaches. And so, I think the players were as hard on themselves as anybody, and that's kind of what you want. It needs to bother you when you make a mistake or when you give up a score. And so I was really proud of our defense, the way they responded in the second half, and defensively, again, Ty Box, a senior, played really, really well for us, was a great leader.
Yeah, after sitting out all last year.
Yeah,
right?
after missing, 11 games last year.
I'm sure
with
he was
injury.
excited.
Oh, yeah. Played really hard. Landon Butts provided a lot of leadership, as did Dakota Underhill from his linebacker position. So I think the leadership on this team is it's just incredible. It's great to have a locker room like that.
Sure.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, shifting gears a little bit of looking behind, let's look ahead a little bit. And what should fans expect when we get on the field with Sweetwater here Friday night?
Sweetwater is they're a really talented team, really, really big up front on the offensive line. A couple of those guys are 280 or 300 pounds, so they're going to be big. And if you recall last year, 3 onside kicks, got 2 of them back, faked 3 punts, converted all of them. 3 faked PATs or field goals, and converted those as well. So I'm not sure there's a better special teams unit in the state, regardless of classification. They're really, really talented, take a lot of pride in that, and it's something that we've been looking at since the summer, kind of game planning for them and what they do in the kicking game. And so I think they're going to be obviously sound in special teams. They're going to be big up front, and defensively very similar to Childress, a different look, but going to play really fast, going to play really hard. A physical team, rivals out of Jim Ned, what we saw in the scrimmage. And so I think it's going to be a great challenge for our guys. Glad we're playing them at home. And I'm excited to, as our kids, to play in front of the home fans. It's going to be a good night.
Yeah.
Now, it's always good when you don't have to drive 8 hours.
Yeah.
What do you want to see from the team Friday night?
I think to play with the same effort and enthusiasm. We had a bunch of guys that were excited to play football Friday night, and just that enthusiasm that'll get you halfway there. And then obviously we're going to clean up some execution. We had some missed assignments offensively and some communication breakdown defensively. So those 2 things, and then Coach Galindo's got a really solid special teams plan, and those guys are coached too over there. Sweetwater's going to do some good things in the kicking game especially, and so hopefully we're able to match that tit for tat and get after them a little bit in the other phases of the game.
Absolutely. So what's your message to your players this week as you guys are preparing?
Yeah, I think it hasn't changed much in that it's not about the opponent. It's not about Sweetwater or the Mustangs or the Bobcats or whoever's next week. It's about us. If we play with great effort and enthusiasm, if we communicate defensively, if we execute and get lined up offensively, the only team that's going to be able to stop us is the Greenwood Rangers. And so I think the message as far as what we're telling the players is it's about us. It's about us. It's not about what they do. It's about what we do. And if we take care of the Greenwood Rangers, it'll be a good night.
Yeah, control what you can control.
Exactly.
Sure. Coach, we unintentionally kind of talked about the schedule last week. This week is going to be the first 4-day school week, so not having school on Friday. What does that schedule look like for the team?
Well, it's true. This is a 4-day week. We actually had Monday off with the Labor Day break. But last Friday we were able to bring the kids up and feed them breakfast. We were able to have a team flex and kind of get loosened up a little bit. Go into some position meetings and answer some last-minute questions, do a little walkthrough to make sure, we saw it on the screen, and then we needed to see it on the turf to make sure everything was squared away, and gave the players a little break to eat lunch, and then hopped on a bus and stared out the window for a long time. And
all the flex went away.
Exactly. Yeah, we got to redo it when we got to Childress, but it was I can't stress the maturity it takes to take I guess 41 players, 4 hours away. There's a lot of opportunities to lose your focus or have your mind wander, and those guys were zeroed in on what it took to win. So I was really proud of the way they traveled, and we're excited to see if we can maintain that focus at home on Friday night on senior night, I might add.
Okay.
So come on out and support our seniors.
There you go. So what are your 3 keys to the game this week, Coach?
Well, we've already talked about their special teams, so we're going to have to meet or exceed everything they bring to the table from a special teams perspective. I thought we took care of the football really, really well. Our offense did a great job holding on to the football Friday night, and then defensively, Coach Martin and Landon Butts spoke about it. We've got to find – we did a great job in the scrimmages, but we've got to find a way to always be +2 in the turnover margin. And so, if we have a fumble, we've got to find a way to get 2 more on top of that. If we throw an interception, we've got to get 2 more on top of that. So we've got to continue to find creative ways to get the ball back for our offense and hold on to it offensively and win the kicking game.
Absolutely.
Coach, last week we talked about screen plays and hard snap counts, right? And we kind of talked. It means a lot to me being an offensive lineman, right?
Of course.
Just knowing that the defense doesn't get to tee off on me, every snap of the ball. And I had a realization because we didn't do any hard snap counts Saturday. I think we did 1 screen play. But the reality, hang on, let me get to my point. The reality is we didn't need it, right? I think this is the first time in recent years that I've noticed our offensive line just absorbing whatever the defense throws at them, right? You not to use any of that stuff as a crutch, but it helps you, right? Kind of keep that in the toolbox, and it was good, on that 4-hour terrible drive coming home, but I had that realization, and it was very impressive.
Well, our offensive line did a fantastic job. Riley Allen at center. Aaron Carbajal, this was his first varsity start, did a great job. Jaden Colbert kind of anchors that group, leads that group with all of his experience from last year. Did a fantastic job. And, Caleb Salinas, Darby Whitaker, I mean, we've got several guys that can come in and get the job done for us up front. And so Lincoln and the offense, they rely heavily on those guys. And all the credit in the world to Ryan Cox and the job he's done, moving from tight ends to the offensive line and getting those guys to play as a unit. He's done a really, really good job with it.
Yeah, there's only a few times that I noticed, any of the defenders in the backfield. Madrid made the highlight reel for sidestepping and getting some yards on a pass play. But there wasn't a whole lot of disruption in our backfield. So
and that's true for any team. You're only going to be as good as you are up front. It doesn't matter who's in the backfield if you can't get those guys blocked or get off blocks on the defensive side of the ball. And so
yeah, you got to win the line of scrimmage on both sides.
Absolutely, and a lot of credit to our guys. They were able to get it done.
Sure.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, that's the end of Ranger Rundown. Thanks to Coach Thomas and Rooster's Backyard Grill for making this happen. Make sure to subscribe to GSN on YouTube so that we don't miss any of our content and live game streams.
Thanks again for watching. That's all for Greenwood Streaming Network.